Welcome you lot to the first episode of the TFF podcast. I'm joined by my guest Dimitri, my boy Micheal. Introduce yourselves, boys. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. No complaints.
No complaints. That's what we love to hear.
Things you love to hear.
Things you love to hear. Now, where can we find you? What's the the Instagram, the Facebook, the YouTube? Plug it all.
Instagram. Let me check. The Instagram is at Dimitri_Haji.
Micheal, what's your at?
My Instagram is Michael_Mufeki. That's she wants not to spell Mufeki. It's MUPFEKR. That's it.
Alright, we've got it down. The links will be in the description. You can check my boys out. Alright. First up, Dimitri, Arsenal fan. We see the scarves in the background. What's going on with Mikel Arteta now?
You know what? He's starting to pick up again because he started to lose it because we played City, Liverpool, Spurs all in a row, and then we just kept losing, and then we just never really picked up again. But now, since we beat Chelsea on the 26th of December, we've been picking up. We haven't lost yet. This year, we haven't lost. We threw the next round of the FA Cup, like most teams, obviously. But it's looking promising. We went from 15th to 11th in 2 weeks. So we're making progress. We're getting back up there.
All right.
We're not where we want to be, but we're nearly there.
You're out of the relegation zone. Chris Wilder
exactly.
And not Alan Pardew. What's his name? Sam Allardyce. They're not bigging you up anymore. Now, you mentioned the Newcastle game. You mentioned the FA Cup tie. So, what's interesting is Arteta started Willian. What's going on there? You leave Gabriel.
I don't know. I don't know why we're playing Willian. The man has played. He's played every game for us in the Premier League, and he's gotten 3 assists and 1 shot on target.
And all those 3 assists coming in one game. How many games have you played with Willian in your starting 11?
Right. Too many. I don't understand why Arteta trusts him so much. We have so many better players to play. We can play a different formation even, but we just consistently play Willian, and he keeps letting the team down. He always likes to cut onto his left foot and try to shoot near post. Never works. So I don't know what's going on.
Micheal, you've got a similar player like that, and Juan Mata. He's also not doing the business there.
What matters more of a veteran leader, helps the younger dudes like Mason Greenwood, and also he's got so much experience in title winning with Chelsea and everything. So, Juan Mata is a bit different in that sense, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd say Juan Mata is he has more of a leader trait. He leads the youngsters. He helps them, whatever. Willian, he's just new to the club, so he doesn't really, he's not a leader at the club.
Yeah,
it's interesting. Go on, Micheal.
What's going on?
Sorry, Micheal, you just cut it.
What's
going on in Mesut Ozil? I have to ask.
With Ozil, I don't know. His contract is, I think, it expired now in January, and I think he's going to.
What's going on?
Say again.
Oh, I think we're losing Mikey.
I think Mikey's disconnecting there.
Oh no.
No, I didn't say anything.
Okay.
I didn't say anything, guys.
So I was saying about Ozil. I don't know. I want him to play, but now I see that he's going to some Turkish club on free.
Fenerbahce, and it's interesting. Arsenal's contracts are all being managed by, I think, 3 people at the club. You've got Kia Jarabsia, who's brought in Gabriel Magalhaes, she's brought in Gabriel Martinelli. David Luiz is one of his clients, and you've got Willian. It seems like Arsenal have that influx of Brazilian players, and Mikel Arteta can't do anything. It's as if there's a clause in their contracts which states they have to be played for X amount of games, because that's the only reason I can see Willian getting into the starting 11. And you've got Nicola Pepe on the bench.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's just the same thing again. We have Pepe on the bench, but we keep playing Willian. Like, we bought Pepe for 72 million. Maybe that was a mistake. We could have bought Zaha for 45 million, but we went for the risky one. We bought Pepe. On his day, he's brilliant. He's world class, but he's very inconsistent. He doesn't perform enough, and I think that's why Arteta doesn't play him as much. But then you see how Willian's performing, and I'd rather have like one of the young, like Reece Nelson, playing than Willian, because at least he brings energy to the game, you know.
Interesting thoughts. Michael, we're coming back to you. Demi mentioned world-class players. A world-class player you wanted in the summer, Jadon Sancho. He's still not coming. He's not linked to the club in January. And the thumbnail of this video, can United win the league? Can they win the league without him coming this January? What's going on there?
I mean, United, the way they're set up now, they're not winning the league. I have to say, as a United fan, I support United, of course. I love the team and I would like them to win the league. But the way they're set up now, they're not going to win the league. Our defense is out of order. We need a more athletic defender. We thought Bailey did well in his first few games that he started, but we just need someone that's a bit more consistent, because in the FA Cup he wasn't playing at that same level. But I mean, the way United is set up now, I don't think we're winning the Premier League. It's mainly our defense. Our offense is stellar. We got Marcus Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba is starting to actually perform like he wants to perform at United, you know. But I feel like we don't necessarily need Sancho at United just yet, but we need a good defender there. That should be our aim. That should be Ole's aim right now. And I think just stop starting Micheal. That's something we have to stop doing.
Yeah, I must say, I watched the game against Aston Villa. I watched the United Aston Villa game. I think it was on the first, and Bailly performed very well next to Maguire. He was solid. He pocketed Grealish and Ollie Watkins. So, like, I must say, if you guys play him more, I know he's very injury prone. That's why you don't play him as much. But if he can perform like that all the time, I think you guys will be sorted. I don't think you'll win the league. There's a very high chance you'll finish top 3, but I don't think you'll win the league.
Yeah, I think it's more of a long-term project that we have to look at. We are contenders right now, but right now I feel Man City, even though they're not top 3, are more of a threat to Liverpool than United are right now, the way we're set up. But, you know, anything can happen this season.
Yeah. Well, you guys are playing Liverpool, I think, on the 17th, it said. In the league, you're playing Liverpool.
Yes, and they also play us in the FA Cup.
You also drew them in the FA Cup. Yeah. So that's going to be quite interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, very interesting. I feel like that would be the major test to see where we'll end up in this.
Yeah, to see.
Even if, I mean, because we'll be testing both our first team and our second unit. So our first team in the Premier League and our second unit in the FA Cup, seeing how and what type of direction we should take after this, because I mean, obviously no one's gonna remember how the table looks today. Obviously, journey today, and we have an opportunity to go first. We'll remember that at the end of the season. What to remember is the person is holding the trophy. So I think what we have to do is just analyze how we play against Liverpool and see what we can fix.
Interesting. It is interesting. It's shocking how that United team is this close to us, and it's shocking how City are somewhere mid-table. It is odd this season, like you say, anything can happen. I think in Liverpool's case, we are our own worst enemy with our injuries and with our inconsistency against Newcastle, Southampton. I think we also drew somewhere else. I can't remember. It's gone past my head, but
against West Brom.
West Brom.
West Brom.
Sam Allen. Yeah, after beating Crystal Palace 7-0, you would think we would find some form of in front of goal, but just hasn't been the case. And apparently, Jurgen Klopp isn't looking to bring in any defensive solidity at the back this transfer window, so it's going to be a fun one to watch. Who knows? Maybe Aston Villa can win the league. You know, anything.
You never know. But Monza, I have a question for you. So, in the Merseyside derby, there was a challenge made on one of your star players, Virgil van Dijk. However, one of your players were offside, so the red card wasn't shown to Jordan Pickford. What do you think that he should have gotten a red card? Or, what are your opinions on that?
Yeah, you can definitely.
So, essentially, the Premier League and the referees commission, the committee, whatever association they say that wouldn't be a red card because I believe it was Jordan Henderson was offside. If someone decks you and the other players offside, is that not a foul? Because what I believe Michael Oliver, the official for that day, was saying that because Hendo was offside, that discounts any foul that happened to Virgil, and that discounts Pickford's challenge. And I'm thinking, where's the logic in that? Like the example I just gave. If let's say, let's give this example. Let's say Timo Werner's bearing down on goal, and N'Golo Kante plays a ball over the top. Werner's got the ball, but he tries to pass it to Pulisic. Pulisic gets taken out, but it's given offside. Chelsea fans would say, "Oh no, that's a foul. That's a red card offence on whoever his goalkeeper that is." But it's just I can't. I'm bewildered by the situation that we're in. And if we lose the league, if we don't win the league this season, we can't really blame it on Virgil not being there. But that would be a big factor in why we didn't come out on top.
Yeah, well, having Virgil is he's a big boost in your team, but also you can't rely on one player to take the team to winning the trophy.
True. So you can't rely on Aubameyang to carry you all the time, and you can't rely on Fernandes all the time.
I feel like with that, yeah.
So, Michael, you were going to say something?
Exactly.
Michael?
My opinion on that Virgil foul was that, now saying about the Virgil van Dijk foul, right? I feel like that should have been a red card. Virgil was offsides. It's an endangerment of it's endangering players. Because players are humans too. You got to think about that. You can't just allow play to continue like that. There has to be some sort of punishment, But it happened. Full speed recovery for Virgil van Dijk, but
I saw something on Instagram the other day on Sky Sports Instagram, and the official for that game, he said that it should have been a red card. Now that he's looking back at it, he should have given the red card. But it's too late now to do that.
That's why is he saying that? The whole point of VAR is to make sure that what is a foul is given as a foul. There's no use 4 months after it's happened to say, "Oh, you know what, that is a red."
Exactly.
Because the damage is done. That's another topic I wanted to bring upon. Your thoughts on VAR. It's so inconsistent that we don't know the rules anymore. What's handball?
I think VAR is a very good concept to have in football. I do think that at times it ruins the game a bit, but it's very good to make the game fair. However, it's not being used how it should. So it's a brilliant idea, a brilliant concept to bring into football, but if it's not being used correctly, which it isn't, then I think they must just take it out because they're so inconsistent. You see so many clips of players getting red cards for basically just tapping the guy. I've seen obviously being an Arsenal fan, I watch Arsenal a lot. If VAR overturns like so many of our goals and offsides and all that stuff, it's very inconsistent because you'll watch one game where the player will trip over his own leg, VAR check it, and then they still award the penalty. Then you'll see another game where it's a full-on penalty red card, but it's not given. So I think it's very inconsistent. So if they fix it and make it more consistent, then I think it's great. But at the moment, I don't think it should be in football.
Yeah, I completely agree. There are some calls from some people to say VAR should just be completely removed and done away with. I think it's too late for that. We're so used to having controversy in the game, and that's ultimately what club owners and what production companies, broadcasters want. They want us to get pissed. They want us to rage because that brings in money for them. That brings in views. More people watch the games to see, what's going to happen? Is VAR going to do this or that? Because we are spectators to them. We see ourselves as fans, as members of the club. We see the club as family, but to them, we're paychecks. And I think
exactly.
And I think VAR may just stay there because it brings in more revenue.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. I think sorry, Michael.
Yeah, I think with VAR, it's like Dimitri said, it's very inconsistent. Like I was saying, like what has been a United fan, you hear the chats about how many penalties are given because of VAR and how we favored by VAR. Yeah, I mean, sometimes like the poor Pogba foul, that was not meant to be a penalty. I can agree with that. He did trip over his own legs. I mean, I feel like that shouldn't have been a penalty. And sometimes, with VAR is good. It does help because I mean, especially with red card offenses, referees may not always see what happens and they can recheck it with VAR and all sides and stuff like that. But I think they just have to become more consistent. But I don't think, but agreeing with you, Mons, I don't think they will remove it because it does ignite emotions in fans and allows more fans to watch the game, to see like how the game pans out.
Completely agree, Michael. You made some very bad points there, some very, very bad points. The thing is with VAR, like I said, it's so ingrained to football now, there's no chance of removing it. And if it works well. If it doesn't work, it works horribly. So it's just utter nonsense, but we have to deal with it. It's what football is now, it's what the sport is now. But it also means that some obvious errors would not happen anymore. So, like I believe it was Chelsea against Cardiff City, the end of the 18-19 campaign. Azpilicueta is miles offside, but he scores. Cardiff get relegated. But I think that's why VAR was brought in the first place, to stop errors like that. But it's actually doing the opposite and creating more errors.
And it's also creating more controversy between clubs and football fans. But like even I saw the interview with Klopp when they played Southampton and you guys lost 1-0, and there were 2 chances where you should have gotten penalties, and he was just in the interview he said how United have gotten more penalties under Ole than he has in his whole 5 years at Liverpool. So yes, United get penalties, but yes, they're attacking in the box to get those penalties, but I think a lot of them are, I would say a lot of them are rubbish penalties, they shouldn't be awarded. For example, the Paul Pogba one against Aston Villa. I think if VAR wasn't in the game, United wouldn't be where they are now. I think they're a very strong side, but I think penalties do help them quite a lot.
They are indeed a strong side, a side that was somehow awarded a penalty after the full-time whistle was blown. Against Brighton. Somehow.
Yeah, I agree. Dimitri, but I think also with VR is making the game of football a lot softer. Like you see, if a kid touches you in sport, it's not as how it used to be when VR wasn't there. You would try fight for a goal. Now
exactly. Now you're going down.
Being a penalty.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like VR is ruining the toughness of the game because now, like, I mean, what's the point of me lifting weights and all if I'm just gonna fall as soon as somebody touches me? It's like, I mean, I think players, it's also the mindset of players. I think it should change a little bit. Like they should try fight for goals because I mean sometimes there's a clear chance for a goal. You don't need to flop. You can get a goal if you continue, but yeah, I mean nothing much you can do about it.
Yeah, but I was thinking like how VAR. Imagine if that Diego Maradona moment where he scored was his hand, the hand of God. Imagine if that was ruled out by VAR. Like moments like that. Imagine like Aguero. You know that Aguero moment when they scored against QPR to win the league. Imagine if that was ruled offside by VAR or something like that. You know.
All the big moments in football just gone because of technology that's inconsistent.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, moving on. I wanted to talk, Michael gave a nice point earlier, how players are actually human.
I think...
Michael, I think we're... Okay, no. So Michael did give a nice point about how players are actually human. In our turbulent times with the coronavirus moving about, it is odd to see how players are spending their time. We've seen parties from the likes of Tammy Abraham, Jack Grealish, but I'm now Kyle Walker as well, but I'm very concerned about what's going on with Benjamin Mendy. Somehow, he managed to sneak in some adult people into a party twice in the space of, I believe, a month. Now, we know footballers, they have this lifestyle, extravagant, nice car, house, but in a global pandemic, you can't be having sex parties. Remember, you are a footballer, you're broadcasted across the globe. Set the example for those who are watching you. A kid is going to grow up and say, oh, I'm going to be a footballer, I can get paid all the time. It's not right, is it? I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think that they should. Like, yes, they want to enjoy their lives and have parties and all that stuff. But then again, you're a professional footballer. You are fortunate enough to still be playing football, that they haven't like stopped the Premier League like they did last year. And I think they must just appreciate that and accept the fact that under these lockdown regulations that they have, they just go home, go to the training grounds, practice, go back home, go to your match day, play the game, go home, training ground. And like I really don't think they should be having parties, and I think they should be fined for having parties like that or be punished in some way.
Yeah, I like that idea of being fined the same way you're fined if you're late for training.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
go on, Michael.
Yeah, I agree. I think footballers, or any athlete that's being allowed to continue playing their sport right now, is very privileged because a lot of people lost their jobs, but they're still getting paid millions. So I feel like they should be more responsible in that sense that they still have that opportunity to do what they love, unlike other people in the world, and they get to. And I feel like having parties and stuff during this global pandemic is very, very irresponsible. Like, we've seen in our own country, people go to jail for not wearing a mask and stuff. So I feel like if you're going to be throwing a party, there should be a major fine in that. And the FA should investigate into those stuff because it is breaking the coronavirus regulations.
Very, very good point. We are in these turbulent times, these bad time. So just wanted to say, stay safe, wear a mask, sanitize, all that good stuff. Okay, Michael mentioned the FA. So that FA might not be relevant in a few years due to the European Super League coming about. We heard about this before, rumours about Florentino Perez wanting Madrid to enter. We've also got stories about Barca and Man City being involved in it. As football fans, we love the Spurs versus Marine. We love the Aston Villa v Man United. We love the Brighton v Chelsea. The European Super League essentially rids of that and makes Juventus play Bayern Munich every week. It makes Real Madrid play Chelsea. But why do you think, no, not why do you think, where do you think this game's going with all the money that's being pumped in and everything that's going on? We're hearing about the top six in the Premier League being segregated, the top four in the league are being segregated, just mashing into one big European league like the Champions League, but not as exciting. Your thoughts?
I just think it's another way to make revenue, to make money. I think there's no need to have that because you already have Champions League, Europa League, those kind of competitions. So yes, it'll be very interesting to watch, but I think there's no need to do that. There's already enough football being shown. There's enough like revenue. There's enough money coming into like all the football associations, and I think it's just another way to make more money in the end. Yeah, that's really what I have to say.
Yeah, Michael, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree with Dimi. It is a way to make more money, more revenue for the bigger clubs. But I think with the smaller clubs like you mentioned once, so your Brighton, your Burnley, those sides wouldn't really be as relevant if they were to do that, because people would be more focused on your Barcelona, your Manchester United, Arsenal, Real Madrid, all those teams, and it takes away from the smaller clubs like Burnley, Brighton, Cardiff, all those teams that are still trying to fight to make it to the Europa League, to make it to Champions League. They haven't made it in years, so I feel like with the segregated leagues, it's already okay like that. I don't think they need to make one big thing, because we already got Champions League, got Europa League, where teams can face off against each other. I mean, and times are changing now. Now we're seeing Aston Villa and top five. They have an opportunity to make it to the Europa League or Champions League. So I feel like we don't really need it as much. It's just a way of making more money for them.
It is, because when you think about it, you don't want to broadcast a game in Middlesbrough. You want to play a game in Abu Dhabi the one week and Japan another week, and you want to go have these clubs move abroad. You want to see Barcelona v Atletico Madrid in Bombay or something like that. You just want the extravagant novelty of something different. You don't want the boring old Premier League. You don't want the boring old Leganes versus Villarreal. You want novelty. You want excitement. But the thing is, what these businessmen don't understand, us as fans, we love the excitement of seeing Villa thrash Liverpool 7-2. We love seeing Spurs go to a pitch where their house is on the side and versus a team called Marine. And it's sad to see that.
That's the beauty of English football. You see these big clubs like Spurs, Liverpool, and then they go to all these small clubs like Marine and they play at those pitches. It's the beauty of English football, really.
I agree with you. But this one, like when Leeds lost in the FA Cup this past week, and it's just beautiful to watch that. Watch a lower league team beat a Premier League side that's pretty strong.
Very strong, yeah.
Yeah, it's just that's just the beauty of English football. Like obviously we may not see that in let's say Spanish football or some other leagues like that. But the times are changing. We're starting to see other teams start performing in other leagues, like in Inter. We didn't expect Inter Milan and AC Milan to be 1 and 2 in their league. We expecting when we're coming into the season, we expected Juventus to
just
actually
run away with it.
Yeah, we expected them to be already 10 points ahead. We expected Barcelona to be a top 2 side in the league, but they're not. So I feel like times are changing. We should just go with the flow. We shouldn't change anything.
I like that. Just go with the flow. We don't have to worry about drawing to West Brom and Newcastle. Just go with the flow. It's okay. Nothing's wrong. It's fine. It's fine. Just go with it. Right, lovely scene. Now, you say, Michael, about going into a new age. A new age is the new age of players. We're seeing Zlatan turning 40, Messi and Ronaldo going older. How excited are you to start hearing about the Sufa Makoto, the Jude Bellingham, the Greenwood? What can you expect? What can we expect from these youth players in the coming years? Do you think that we'll still have the old Paulo Dybala, Griezmann, or do you think the game will be dominated by youth, Erling Haaland and Mbappe? Your thoughts? Michael?
Yeah, Dimitri. Me. Okay.
Either of you. It's fine. Just you say go with the flow.
So I think it's very sad that we're seeing the Zlatans of the world, Messi, Ronaldo, all these legends that we grew up watching. We idolize. We're seeing them get old and older. We're seeing them rapidly regress. Obviously, I can't say that for Zlatan because he's still playing like he played when he was in Barcelona, But, Messi, we've seen him slow down a lot this season. He's not scoring as he used to score. Ronaldo's still at that level, but we can see some regression. And obviously it is sad, but to watch young stars like Kylian Mbappe, Mason Greenwood, Haaland, all these stars that are growing into superstars, if I can say that. It's nice to grow up and watch to see those players start to make them enable themselves, knowing that they started off like the Ronaldos or Zlatans or Messi's, and to see them make a name for themselves, I feel like it's nice, but it's still sad that we have to see Messi, Ronaldo more than regress.
Sad things indeed. Demi, your thoughts?
Yeah, like Mikey was saying, it's very sad to see them start dropping form and not being as good as they used to be. Obviously, they're not in the prime anymore, but it's still very sad to see that. But all these young stars that are coming onto the scene, it's like we don't know who's going to be the next Messi or the next Ronaldo. When Messi and Ronaldo burst onto the scene, they were like the top 2 players. There was no one close to them. Whereas nowadays you have Mbappe, Haaland, Greenwood, that Mokoko, he's like 17, 16 years old.
16.
That he's my age and he's playing in the Bundesliga. That's quite an achievement. So big ups to him. But you don't know who's gonna be the next Messi or Ronaldo, Zlatan's obviously gonna be around for many more years. Yeah. Because that guy, he doesn't age. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see who's going to become the next Messi or Ronaldo.
It is. Going on the path of youth players, Demi, coming back to you, Arsenal, how impressed are you with your boys, Emil Smith-Rowe, Bukayo Saka? Big performance against Newcastle, especially Smith-Rowe.
Yeah, very big. I think it was 2 or 3. Yeah, I think it was about 2 years ago where Smith-Rowe made his first appearance for the club, and I was like, I don't like this guy. He's not Arsenal material. He's not fit for the club. Then you see him come back this year, to the end of last year. You see him come back and perform how he did against Chelsea and West Brom. Getting that 4-0 win. he's got that great football, that football mind. He sees, like, he has vision that other players don't see. He has that creativity. He's got pace. He's energetic, and he plays with a lot of passion. And that's what you really love to see.
I like that,
especially from the youngsters.
Passion. I really like that you mentioned passion, because we're going back to Arsenal now. Just to banter you a bit more, Divi. What we've been seeing with Arsenal is that lack of passion whenever your youngsters aren't playing. Are the senior members of the squad not being motivated by Mikel Arteta, and is the hunger of the youngsters what's bringing you through these tough times for your club?
I do think it is the youngsters that are bringing us through, because if we didn't have the creativity of Bukayo Saka, Smith Rowe, if we didn't have their energy, passion, creativity, then I don't think we would be progressing in the league. I think we would be dropping a lot of points. Like, if you look at Aubameyang, he's only scored 2-3 goals this season, whereas now Lacazette is starting to find his feet again. But it's all because of the young players. You look at Saka, he's getting an assist every game. Also, Kieran Tierney, our left back, that man is brilliant. I think he definitely deserves to become a future captain of Arsenal. Next season, I think he should be given the armband.
Never mind next season. Give him the armband right now. Our boy Kieran with his Tesco bags.
He plays with so much passion, so much integrity, and he's like no, but like, you know what I'm trying to say. He's just he's always there. Even if he's been playing every game, the full game, and we've gone into extra time, he still plays with 100% effort, and I think that's what a lot of the Arsenal, like the older players, need to do. Like Aubameyang, I don't know what's going on with him these days. He doesn't seem to play with as much passion as he used to.
It seems like as soon as he signed his contract, all that hunger went out of him. But it's okay, because you mentioned him. You mentioned the one Don, that big Don that's carrying you, Alexandre Lacazette, the French Smurf. What a resurgence for him, picking his career back up.
I'm happy for him that he's starting to find his feet again and scoring a lot of goals. I think he's on 7 or 8 goals this season. I'm very happy that he's scoring again, because he is a brilliant striker, but people don't recognize him because he doesn't have the pace that Aubameyang does, or that many other strikers do. But I think he's a brilliant player, brilliant striker, and I'm happy that he's starting to get back on form again.
Happy with the French Smurf. Michael, speaking of French strikers, Anthony, what's going on? What's going?
Ice cold Martial.
Martial, I think coming out of last season, when he came back into the season, Martial, more or less, most of our players haven't been playing with that same drive, like, obviously, Martial's trying to fight for his spots in the team, with Edison Cavani coming in the side, with Mason Greenwood coming up, and obviously, no one's taking Marcus Rashford out of the side, so it's kind of hard for him, and obviously, as he keeps insisting that he wants to play at number 9, it is kind of hard for him to stay in the squad, but Anthony Martial has not found his shooting beats. Obviously, he had the little spell of games from Everton game in the FA Cup and a few other games. He found a little bit of a spell, or the Carabao Cup, let me say, not FA. He found a little bit of a spell there, but yeah, it's still not the same as we saw last season or 2 seasons ago, when he was scoring plus 10 goals or plus 15 goals a season. Now he's not even on 10 goals this season, which, I mean, it's kind of disappointing to see, but it is what it is.
It is what it is indeed. Hopefully Martial can find his 2017-18 form. All the best for that French Donny, who has a bad haircut, but we move. Finally, our last topic. It's still a United topic, but we want to bring some of the real world into it. Sir Marcus of Rashford, the darling boy of England. He's just been doing bits, hasn't he? Along with helping out and raising awareness for those school meals. He's still doing that today, even though the UK government isn't really aiding him in that. But we love to see it from Marcus. You guys' thoughts on him as a player, as a person.
Yeah.
I think
Marcus
as a
Rashford,
person,
he's just doing it all on and off the pitch. I mean, I think Marcus Rashford is doing it on and off the pitch. He's for children. I think it's also part of the humanity side, you know, being human in these times, helping each other out. Because you all know it's difficult right now with the coronavirus going on. Not everybody can help each other right now. Not everybody can donate and everything. So Marcus Rashford, as he knows that he's privileged to play the game of football and earn millions, he's one of the most valuable players in the Premier League. He knows that I'm winning millions, so he knows that it's the right thing to do to help the children out when other people can't, to donate and help. And it's just great to see him helping out in this difficult time.
Dimitri?
Yeah, like Michael was saying, you see how appreciative he is of like that he's able to play football to earn the money he does, and he gives it all back to the community, especially him starting from like a rough childhood, you know, and seeing him like give back to all the starving and poor people, you know, it's really great to see. And like I'm happy that's like being a human, obviously.
No, Dimitri, you're a dog. You're not a human. You're a dog. You go bark.
So seeing the stuff he's doing, it's very heartwarming to see all the great stuff he's doing for the poor people in England. And then as a player, obviously being another football fan, a rival fan, I don't like him as a player because he's very good, very talented. So it's very tough to play against him, or to watch my team play against him. But yeah, he's very good, but he's just like, yeah. That's all I have to say.
All you have to say, yeah. Mama Rashford, Mrs. Rashford, she raised a good man. Boys, it's the end of the podcast. I want to thank you both for coming on. Again, the socials will be in the description. You know the vibes. Please do subscribe, join. Next podcast will be coming shortly.
It's been live since we came up. 400 years we ain't gave up. Sold to the peers who had named us. Drove with the gears that they gave us. These rhymes on my tears, I don't say much. It hurts when I hear it ain't changed much. We starved on the way for a sign now. Regardless of change, it's our time now. Today was the day I decide I'm wilding out for my folks. Valid goals, no shooting, no violence.